My name is Alesha, and this is your first time visiting my channel. Welcome. Shout out to Jalen Hood Shafino and Tracy Jackson Davis for getting drafted. Woo! Go Lakers, go Warriors. I'm excited. I was like doing my little happy dance last night. Oh, I'm actually experimenting with different ways to do my hair. So look, I got this little wavy look going. Let me know what you think. So, we're going to get started on why you need to separate from your family, friends, and hometown. Oh, I took a bunch of influence from Chosen Society-Ryan Tate, Tumi Yukii, and Overseas with Key. Shout out to you all. I'm going to go ahead and put your videos in the link. And yeah. So, why do you need to separate from your family, friends, and hometown? Number one, so the purpose of your life can be fulfilled. It's a sign of destiny. And oh, I took notes again. Okay, here we go. Anywho, number two, family and friends can sometimes block you from becoming who you're meant to be. They mean well sometimes, but the people around you don't accept the gifts, the calling, the anointing that's on your life. And sometimes they get jealous. They know what you've done. They remember the dirt, and they want to remind you of that dirt to keep you back down in the dumps with them. Can anybody relate? It's almost like no matter what you've done, no matter how successful you are, they will never see you outside the person that you used to be. That younger version of you, that past version of you. Number three, sometimes your hometown will bring out your bad vices and bring out the worst in you. Sometimes it will bring out a sinful nature. You can take the person out the club, but you can't take the club out the person. Do you know what I mean? There may be trouble. I have people who hate me right now as I make this video and have people see me a certain way. And it's amazing how people will just sit there and listen to that without considering the source. It's amazing to me how people will believe the messenger without considering a message or the source. They're not doing their due diligence, but hey, that's their choice. If you want to believe the rumors and lies and gossip, go right ahead. I don't care. And maybe you grew up under difficult circumstances, as Ryan stated in his version, and if you wasn't removed, you would have succumbed to violence, maybe having a kid before you were supposed to, being forever stuck in a downward spiral, wondering what if, the consequences of being in the wrong place. The resources for us to walk in our purpose and fulfill our destiny is in the other place. If situations and circumstances didn't push you, then you have never gone on your own. Number five. This is kind of a Yumi's part. Sorry if I said your name wrong. They have this, oh, we've known you since you were a kid vibe. Who do you think you are? People will look at you, especially your friends and family. It cut me off, so let me say this last line again. People will look at you, your own family or friends, people you went to school with. They will see the anointing on your life, the glow up, the blow up. And they are trying to stop the anointing on your life because they are jealous. They didn't have what it takes. They didn't have what it took. They still don't have what it takes to move the mountains in their life and to get themselves out of their own place. So the next step is to try to actively sabotage you and try to stop you. So you need to be taken away from your family and friends because they will say, this is how our family's supposed to do things. This is how our culture does things. This is how great-granddaddy and great-grandma had this religion. And this is what we believe over here. When you get from the pit to the palace, you will see where you were supposed to be. You will see where you were supposed to be going. And it'll all make sense. You will know how to act. This is directly from Yumi's video. Greatly influenced by her. You know you don't have what it takes to do what you had to do. You don't have what was at your parents' house, how your family used to live, how your old friends used to act and mess around. I was so successful after leaving a bad school situation that some people I used to know started saying, who do you think you are? You think you're better than us mentality? They wanted to see me a certain way because they were so used to seeing me how they used to know me. So I have a personal experience with that. And it gets crazy. So, my other notes. Let me get separated over here. I had to personally definitely remove myself from a very bad school situation to level up in my life because there was a lot of friction around it during my school's hometown at the time. I wasn't treated very nicely in the place in question, and I never felt safe in my own body, even at the dorm, anywhere. And for many, many years, I was shown better than I was ever told how they felt about me. I was basically a piece of trash. And let me go ahead and take a quick break here. Anywho, to continue on what I was saying, I felt like a piece of trash to them because there's that one quote that says you don't never forget what people said, but you always remember how they made you feel. Or I know I may have messed that up, but that's what I felt like in the school situation. I looked for a home and belonging for a long time, and I was rejected a lot. And you gotta understand something, like I'm the only child. I love my own company, but at the same time, like, they tell you when you go through hard things to seek out support. And when I did seek out support, it started to become more of a circus. You know, stop being victim, stop saying woe is me. I've had people tell me, why you want me to help you through it? And I said, you know what? Seeking help has been more of a mess than anything, so let me just leave it alone. At the time also, I had several friends pass away, so all of this compounded. And it made me feel like I could never really fit in anywhere, and I didn't truly belong, even after finding organizations, because I couldn't trust people. Like, I've had all these experiences that tells me, hey, I can't trust people. They do nothing but stab me in the back, and if I tell them a secret, I've had too many people just spread rumors like wildfire. So I said, So I was always at a distance. I was there, but I also was invisible. So this is how I was feeling in the school situation. Anywho. And when I got around friends, I never really told anybody because nobody wants to hear your problems all the time. Just imagine being that person where every time you're around them, this, that, this, that, this, that, this, that, this, that. Eventually, they might get tired of being around you. And they might start distancing themselves from you because they don't want to be around a negative Nelly or Debbie Downer. So I didn't want to be that to my friends. Like, it got really bad at certain periods, but I just didn't say nothing to nobody. I said, I'm just going to tackle this myself. And too many times I also got made fun of and on the gossip circuit, so I said that's all right. And after years of having my trust violated and being stabbed in the back, I just made the hard decision, like, no matter how hard and how bad it gets, I'm just going to handle it myself, because it seems like when I try to talk to people, they just put me through a whole mess just to try to get help. So I said, screw it. Like Overseas with Keys said, I felt uninspired, unmotivated. I had goals and dreams back then, and sometimes you need a new environment, fresh energy in order to foster and grow your creativity. I'm just going to give you a personal example off the top of my head, and I'm just going to completely just freestyle this. But I was in the school of technology, but I was also in the acting school. They kept telling me, oh, you're not going to get acting roles because of your skin color. Some of the classes I took, they kept giving me stereotypical welfare queen roles, like, this is how we see black people. And it was kind of bothersome because they had all these stereotypes of what they thought black people were. And I definitely kind of pulled them aside and said, hey, this is not how black people are. And I just want to say off record, not everybody had the same experience. This is my experience, so just keep that in mind. So anywho, I just kept running into roadblock after roadblock. You know, you had to audition and get roles, but then they had no roles for people of color. I just kept running into shit after shit. And I'm a generally pretty positive person. You know, I believe you can do whatever you set your mind to and do what's within your gifts and talents. But they kept telling me, oh, you won't get any roles because of your skin color. So I had to really start finding a way to get away from there and distance, because it was so negative. And I am a believer, you have to have blind faith. You have to believe in things that you don't necessarily see. You have to believe in a vision and the bigger picture that other people don't see, but they never like took that up. It was just, oh, you're black, you're not gonna make it in Hollywood. And so I had to make a plan to get out of there, because there was no way that I was gonna be successful there. So I definitely needed a new surrounding, a bunch of people who were doing the same things I was doing. And at the time, I just kind of felt like the school I was attending, we just weren't on the same wavelength, wasn't on the same page. Okay, there's this quote that she had in her video Overseas with Keys. When a flower is first potted, it grows. But after a certain amount of time, the flower gets too big for a small pot. It needs to be repotted into a bigger pot in order for it to continue growing and for it to spread its roots. And for those roots to really flourish, sometimes you need new surroundings without the people you've known, the environment you've known your whole life to really inspire you or motivate you to achieve things. In this case, I needed to get away from my school and the people because it really did feel like I was bogged down. I couldn't really achieve in the environment that I was surrounded in. The people in my school hometown at the time didn't want the same things. We really weren't doing the same things. And even to this day, like right now, as I make this video, people in my current hometown, people in my hometown, in my current friend circles also, we don't want the same things, aren't really into the same things, and I want to achieve different. Like for instance, I'm a YouTube influencer, I'm a musician and an actress, just to name a few. And I really don't get the same kind of motivational, go in, all kind of energy. Just to be honest with you, I've really pulled back from my hometown. I spend more time other places, i.e. LA and New York. But I haven't really discussed that publicly yet. I'll cue them in on that later. It's very important to be surrounded by people who are doing the things you want to do, achieving the things you want to achieve. Like, you really have to think about the environment that you can feel like motivate you, that can motivate you, inspire you, and where you can meet people in your space that's doing the same things that you want to do. Now, like I said, I kept feeling friction, not feeling motivated, feeling down at the school situation, and things were not working out. And it felt like this wasn't home. And this is what I wanted my whole life. Like for years, this was my dream place, this was my dream school. And for it to turn out like that, I'm like, damn, like, is this a dream? And I just want to say, I wasn't a perfect student. I didn't do everything perfectly, but sure as hell, I didn't deserve that shit. And once I left that horrid school situation, let me show you and tell you all the cool things that happened. More just tell you. So, my bad, there's somebody cutting grass in the background. So if you hear too much noise, we're just gonna work with it. So, what happened the first time around when I separated from my school, hometown, and friends? Holy shit. I got signed to 4 talent agents. I got signed to one in Madrid, Spain. I got signed to one in Washington, D.C., of course, one in Indiana, and then one in London. I went from a school situation saying you're not gonna get any bookings because you're black to being signed to 4 agents within a year. And I tell people that story to say, don't let people tell you what you can't do. I end up being a contributor to Huffington Post. I ended up being a contributor to Thrive Global. I ended up getting involved in a dozen or so startups. Ended up getting a whole bunch of business opportunities as an entrepreneur. It was crazy to the point where people who knew me, oh, she got stuff figured out. Who does she think she is? I started to have so many successes simply because I believed in myself and I had the guts to separate from the school, hometown, and my friends. Now, again, let's see, do I have something else I want to say? Yes, I do. Why do people want to book me as a speaker now? Once again, it was because I separated from my friends, family, and my hometown. And I'll list out the other things that's happened because I was brave enough to do this. And I have to be honest, I'm gonna kind of swerve into a different direction for a second, but hear me out. A lot of things that I say in my articles and in my videos isn't easy, but it needs to be said. One of the things that people have told me in emails and stuff when they want to book me as a speaker, you have balls, Alesha. You're not rude. You're just saying what other people are thinking. You say it like it is. When you read, you mean talking to me over email and stuff like that. When you read my articles and watch my videos, as they've told me, it will make people force people to face their demons, regardless if they want to or not. Your articles and your videos have a way of making people face the side of themselves they don't want to face. And sometimes it will make people come at you in aggressive ways because you hit the core. You go hard, Alesha. And I will say, some of the things I say in my articles and videos are not easy. It's very painful, but it's something that I feel like I am going to continue to do. And it's a risk that I took, and it paid off heavily. Anytime I've come across someone who got offended or tried to stop me, usually they took it way too personally. You're doing what I'm describing. To continue what I was saying, the reason why they tried to stop me is because they were doing what I'm describing, and they don't want to face their demons and shadow side. And I will continue to say this to the end of time. If anyone out there finds my content too triggering, I'm not the content creator for you. Stop yourself from watching my stuff because I have no plans in stopping. I've had a lot of psychics, healers, tarot readers reach out to me, DM me, and say, you got a lot of jealous energy around you. Story of my life, honey. I am aware. But the key is to not let the jealous people energy stop you. Interestingly enough, I've been told by many that I have been so successful in so many areas, people are not sure how to keep up with me. They don't know how to stack up to me. I'm the person that they are trying to compete and compare themselves with. And I always have to ask, why? My response: you don't need to be me. I don't want you to be me. You need to aspire to be yourself. Don't put me on a pedestal. My life isn't easy, even if I look like a superhuman to you. I just found my purposes. I'm in alignment with what I want, and I stay in my lanes and I mind my own business. Interesting though, in school, these same people were liked better than me, got easier time than me, were liked more by professors than me, while I was sitting here getting kicked in the ass and kicking in the butt. And yet I wasn't jealous of any of them. I wasn't trying to kick them down, even though I was having a hard time. I was trying to root for them, even though I was going through a shitty time. But it's interesting, when I started to come into my own, they didn't root for me in the ways that I rooted for them. They didn't root for me in the ways I rooted for them, and would have rooted for them if it were them, in the circumstance. You know what I'm saying? If they were experiencing the successes, I can't speak. If they were experiencing the successes, I would be rooting for them and clapping for them like Miss Nigeria rooted for that lady. But they went silent. And it showed me who they are, and it showed me their true colors. It kind of got a little gibbery in the last little clip, so let me make sure I say this right. They are not rooting for me in the ways that I rooted for them. They are not Okay, cool. Somebody got some music on. Cool. Anywho, they are not rooting for me in the ways that I would root for them if it were them experiencing its successes. I gotta be honest, in my surgery and hospital seasons, I get silent. I have medical issues, and I'm not always feeling that great. I'm no good to anyone in that state. The people in my life are aware of this. The fact that too many of the people that I went to school with went silent on me in my seasons of successes tells me that they aren't really good friends, because people in your life should want to see you win. And if your circle doesn't want to see you win, you need to get a new circle. As much as I cared about these people and want to see them happy and want to see them successful, they wasn't wishing the same for me. So I had to let them go for my own good. So let me present my second list of what happened when I separated from jealous friends, family in my hometown. I got YouTube with millions of views. Crazy. I'm a book speaker around the world. 1 million streams on SoundCloud, which actually surprised me. SoundCloud has kind of fallen out of favor in recent years. You know, Spotify is king. But hey, I'll take it. I appreciate people listening to my music, no matter what platform it is. I found that to be freaky, but cool. I get 4 to 6 emails about potential sponsorships, partnerships, doing something with this brand, doing something with that brand monthly. And just because I get emails doesn't mean I always will take the offer. But the fact that people are reaching out on a regular basis like that, life-changing. I am a sponsored athlete. I did all this by just pulling back from my hometown. You know, I show up for volunteer gigs from time to time. I like to show up to the ones that happen once a year so I can give back to my community. But I've really pulled back because I felt like as much love as I poured in, I wasn't getting no love back. And instead of being around people, places, and things that don't appreciate me, go to people, places, and things that do appreciate you. So I've been spending more time, you know, other people, places, and things in other cities. Airplane. It's funny. Anywho, I've been spending my time in other places where people appreciate me more. And that's the bottom line. I think I made this long enough. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there, watching this. Number 3, sometimes your hometown will bring out your bad vices and bring out the worst in you. Sometimes they will bring out sinful nature. They can take the person out of the club, but you can't take the club out of the person. You know what I mean? There may be trouble. You know, I have people who hate me and people who see me a certain way because people went around saying, oh, Alesha's this, Alesha's that, and it's not true. But they chose to believe what they have said about me, and as a result, there's people who see me in a bad light, and it's not true.